Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to dive into the extraordinary journey of a true legend in the world of sports, the one and only Shannon Sharpe. In the National Football League, tight ends often play the role of unsung heroes. However, Shannon Sharpe defied this norm. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, he emerged as one of the greatest tight ends in the league. What set Sharpe apart wasn't just his exceptional athleticism on the field, but his unparalleled flair for creative commentary and occasional trash-talking that kept fans on the edge of their seats. This maestro was more than just a player, he was a showman and a provocateur. Shannon "Goad" Sharpe was born on June 26, 1968, in Chicago, Ill., and he grew up in Glenville, a small town located in Tattnall County. As a child, he came up in a rough environment. Not only was his family poor, but his parents, Pete and Mary Alice Sharpe, separated when he was just 3 months old, immediately presenting a sizable hurdle he would have to overcome. To make matters worse, his father died when he was in his early teens due to lung cancer, which meant that he didn't have a true father figure for part of his most important years. Luckily, Sharpe's grandmother, Mary Porter, stepped in to help raise him and his 2 siblings, and she would play a big role in his upbringing and the man he would eventually become. In addition to helping raise the 3 Sharpe children, his grandmother also helped take care of several others in the extended family, including nieces and nephews. The entire Sharpe clan lived in a tiny house that could barely fit a family of 3. Multiple people had to not only share a room but sometimes a bed. Young Sharpe would share a bed with Grandma. The family ate well on Sunday nights, courtesy of a chicken dinner provided by Porter, but many other days of the week, the Sharpes had to make do with meager meals. Young Sharpe had other obstacles to overcome. In school, he was a poor student, and perhaps it wasn't because of a lack of effort or because he didn't care. He was born with a lisp, which made it hard for him to demonstrate his reading abilities. As a result, he was sent to a speech therapist while in the 3rd grade. Later, when he was in high school, he would be forced to take a remedial reading class. However, if there was one thing Sharpe was good and gifted at, it was sports. In fact, it was likely in his genes. His older brother Sterling went on to the NFL himself and had a very strong career, playing several seasons as a wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. Shannon played football and basketball and ran track while attending Glenville High School. As a track and field athlete, he set the Class A state record for the triple jump at 48 feet 3 inches as a junior, then broke his own mark with a jump of 49 feet 5 inches when he was a senior. But it was on the gridiron where he found his ticket out of poverty. His football coach, William Hall, was even something of a surrogate father for Sharpe, driving him home from practice and even serving as his driver's education teacher. Off the field, Sharpe was also starting to find himself, despite his speech and learning difficulties. Once, when he was at a session with his speech therapist, he made fun of a fellow child who had trouble reading, and although he was reprimanded, Sharpe had a revelation that would help him feel very comfortable and proud in his own skin. "That was the beginning of where I thought I might be good at making people laugh," he said. "From that moment on, I figured out if I could poke fun at other kids, they wouldn't make fun of me in the way I talked." Sharpe decided to stay close to home and play his college ball for Savannah State, which was the only school that offered him a scholarship. As a Division II school, Savannah State was not exactly a prime-time football powerhouse. In addition to playing football for the Tigers, he continued to also play basketball while running track. His freshman year was quiet, but he started to blossom as a sophomore before turning heads as a junior and leading the Tigers to a 7-3 record. In his final year of eligibility, Sharpe got the Tigers to an 8-1 finish. His junior and senior seasons were the 2 best years in Tigers football history, record-wise. For the 1989 season, his senior year, Sharpe put together 1,312 yards and 18 touchdowns on 61 receptions. That same season, he also had 3 games where he gained at least 200 yards, and in one contest, he would score 4 touchdowns. His last 2 games with Savannah State helped raise his national profile, as he became the school's first player to take part in the Blue-Gray Classic, an annual All-Star game in Alabama, and the East-West Shrine Game, another All-Star game played in Nevada. In each of his last 3 years with the Tigers, Sharpe was an All-American, made it on to the All-Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, and was named the conference's Offensive Player of the Year. In all, he totaled 192 receptions, 3,644 yards, and 40 touchdowns while at Savannah State. Heading into the 1990 NFL Draft, Sharpe was not a hot prospect. He was considered a tweener, which is a term used in football as well as in basketball to describe a player who doesn't quite fit into a specific position. He was 6'1" and 221 pounds, which gave him solid size to play wide receiver in the NFL, but he was too slow to actually play the position well. At the same time, many felt he wasn't big or strong enough to block behemoth linebackers as a tight end. Perhaps the fact that Sharpe played at a small Division II school also factored into his lack of attractiveness to scouts. Meanwhile, his brother Sterling was killing it as a wideout for the Packers, which gave him the added pressure of escaping the shadow of his older sibling. With the 192nd overall pick, the Denver Broncos decided to take a chance on Sharpe. Even though they were coming off a trip to the Super Bowl, they needed some help to get over the hump. Still, his NFL career almost didn't happen. He was about to be released during the squad's final cut in 1990, but assistant coach Chan Gailey noticed how Sharpe willingly gave max effort during practice drills, and he vouched for the rookie, leading to Sharpe being included on the final roster. Head coach Dan Reeves would first try Sharpe at wide receiver, although he wouldn't play much as a rookie. He started just 2 games and had a grand total of just 99 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. It also wasn't a given that he'd stick around past his first season. Reeves told Sharpe that in order to make the roster in his second season, he'd have to gain 35 pounds, but Sharpe did just that. Still, his second season wasn't much better. 322 yards and 1 touchdown. The Broncos went 11-5, and after missing the playoffs the year before, they advanced to the AFC Championship game, where they narrowly lost to the Buffalo Bills. After 14 seasons in the NFL, Sharpe retired with a reputation and legacy as perhaps the greatest tight end in the history of the sport. At the time of his retirement, no tight end had ever amassed more receptions, 815, yards, 10,060, or touchdowns, 62. In his second year of eligibility, Sharpe was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, giving him the final bookend to his career. He was also a no-brainer choice for the NFL's all-decade team of the 1990s. Now, delving into his personal life, Sharpe is a man who likes to live a private life. He's never been married, but he's been in relationships with different women and has 3 kids, each with a different mom. We don't know who the moms of Kayla and Kaylee are. However, we know that Erica Evans is the mom of Sharpe's son, Kiari. In 2017, there were rumors that he was dating a fashion model named Nicole Murphy, but those rumors faded away the same year when he got engaged to a fitness instructor named Katie Kellner from Atlanta, Georgia. Unfortunately, their romance didn't last long. Right now, it looks like Sharpe is living the single life. So, after his very successful career, what path did Sharpe take? Shortly after calling it quits, Sharpe became a commentator on the NFL Today, CBS Sports' popular pregame show for its pro football coverage. Teamed up with James Brown and fellow ex-players Dan Marino and Boomer Esiason, Sharpe seemed like a natural choice because of his loquacious personality and megawatt smile. However, his lisp was still noticeable, as was his southern drawl, causing some critics to attack his commentating skills and ability in front of an audience of many millions. Still, Sharpe's role on the NFL Today lasted quite a while, until 2014, when he was relieved of his duties. He also spent time as the co-host of Sirius NFL Radio's Opening Drive morning program, along with Bob Papa. He then moved on to a new role, the co-host of a new show named Skip and Shannon Undisputed, a daily sports debate program that airs on the Fox Sports 1 network. The show paid Sharpe with veteran journalist and on-air personality Skip Bayless, but Sharpe quit the show in June 2023. In addition, Sharpe has his own podcast, Club Shayshay, on which he interviews not just big-name sports stars, but also big names from other fields, including celebrities. The podcast is immensely popular, as it reached 2.3 million YouTube channel subscribers as of January 2024. He recently interviewed Cat Williams in an interview that blew up the internet, finally delving into his net worth. As of January 2024, Shannon Sharpe's net worth is estimated to be roughly $14 million. He owns several lavish properties like a 4,147 square foot home in the Atlanta suburb of Fairburn and many fancy cars. Truly, his journey is very inspiring. As great as his NFL career was, being a successful and popular TV commentator for many years is an amazing accomplishment for him, given how much trouble his speech impediment gave him over the years. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to this channel. I promise to keep you entertained.